You are listening to Read Around the Rosé, the podcast full of prose.
We are just two best friends who love murder mysteries and dystopian novels while drinking wine, because that's just what we do. This is the book club podcast that
you never knew you wanted. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Megan.
And today we are going to discuss Little Whispers by K.L. Slater.
Nice.
It's a light on the murder mystery, heavy on the psychological thriller.
Sure. Light on the murder mystery. Yes. Okay.
Before we get into it, what are we drinking?
A fancy bottle today, Nicole. Gotta wipe off the condensation so I can read it. This is called Field Theory. It's a 2020.
If I had to guess, I would call it Albarino.
That's what I was thinking too. Okay. And it is a Californian wine. Let's see. Gotta wipe all this condensation off. Okay. Curious varietals from unfamiliar places. Handpicked at night. Whole clustered, pressed, fermented in stainless steel. 12 and a half.
Nice.
That's the description we got.
It's a nighttime wine, and I'm a nighttime gal, so.
And it's a super fancy bottle, so we'll definitely have pictures on our Instagram, Facebook, all our social media platforms. So go check it out, because this is a very unique bottle. Mm-hmm. Feels like I'm more in the Pirates of the Caribbean, about to go yo-ho, yo-ho, and like be like Captain Jack Sparrow, like chugging down some like.
It is more rum-like bottle than normal. And it's also, of the wines we normally get, it's a little on the higher end of prices.
Sure is.
Not like you can't afford it. It's like $22, but it's more than we normally pay for a single bottle.
Yes, but it makes me live out my Pirates of the Caribbean fantasies.
Nice.
Which, did you know, Jorge's not like a big Pirates of the Caribbean movie fan?
Oh, Will loves it.
I love it.
Will loves them too, which is so odd that normally Will's the odd one out who doesn't like a movie.
I know. I love them. I need to go you know what? I have this summer. I'm going to rewatch them.
There you go.
I have the first one on DVD, but like not just any DVD case, okay? Has like, the DVD cover case from paper that is so torn from all the watchings.
Yes.
It's great. Okay. You ready for this?
I'm ready. Ooh.
Nice.
That was a high pitch. Pull up.
Why am I trying to get the cork out? We're not going to need it.
Exactly. Oh, such a pretty pour sound.
It is. Gotta get them even. Glug, 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 glug. This is very precise chemistry right now.
Mm-hmm. You nailed it.
Thank you. Not even a drop left. Okay, there we go. We're good.
All right.
Can we smell it first?
Yeah.
It smells like $22.
Yeah. Smells pretty good.
It does.
It does smell a little like cash.
It does. Just a little bit. All right.
And we clink.
And drink. That's not bad. I like that.
It's pretty smooth.
Oh.
I don't know how to describe it. Like, I can't pick up any, like,
It's not super dry, but it's not super sweet. I feel like it's a good in-between, but it's a semi-dry.
Yes, but as far as, like, a fruity or, like, a taste note that I could pick out, I can't quite.
It doesn't tell us, like, what specific kind of white blend it is. I mean, I guess the Albarino, but maybe kind of like more like a Pinot Grigio in my taste.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely like on that spectrum.
Maybe between a Pinot Grigio and a Chardonnay.
Could be. I kind of get the, not cat piss, but like the good Chardonnay.
Yeah, like the very rare Chardonnays that we actually like.
Yeah.
It's like on the verge of that plus like Pinot Grigio.
Yeah. That's good. I like it.
Me too.
Sweet. All right. So you ready to read that synopsis of Little Whispers?
I am. Okay.
Go for it.
All right. Again, this is called Little Whispers by K.L. Slater. And I'm reading this from Goodreads.com. And this book has a 4.03 star rating.
Out of 5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. You shared a secret with the wrong person. Jenny Markham is thrilled. Nope, not Jenny. Janie Markham is thrilled to be moving with her family to Buckingham Crescent, the smartest address in a desirable suburban town. Worried she'll be excluded by the glossy local mothers, Janie is thrilled when she meets Tanya, the kind of woman she has always looked up to. Tanya takes Janie under her wing, and her teenage daughter Angel is amazing with Janie's little boy. As Janie and Tanya grow closer, Janie feels she can finally leave her troubled past behind. But then, everything changes. In a weak moment over a bottle of wine, Janie finds herself telling Tanya her most shocking secret. Why wouldn't she trust her new friend? The following day, Janie sees Angel with a man old enough to be her father pushing someone into a car. The next day, a body is found and police appeal for witnesses and share a picture of the same car. When Janie tells Tanya she is going to tell the police, Tanya turns threatening. She'll stop at nothing to defend Angel even if her daughter is guilty. If Janie says anything, Tanya will make sure that her dark secret gets out. Janie faces an impossible choice. Stay quiet about what she saw that terrible day, or speak up and destroy the family she has worked so hard to protect.
Dun, dun, dun. All right. The description was okay. It talked a lot more about towards the end of the book, I feel.
But they couldn't give anything away. So.
No, they couldn't, but it was an interesting one. Sometimes they give us like the full look at the entire book, and this one was focused more towards like the end aspect of it.
That's true.
Interesting.
Okay. Let's see what I got for you first.
Yep.
All right. So I'm just going to start at the very beginning.
Like normal.
Well, sometimes we skip ahead a little bit, but this literally says chapter 1 on my notes. I put chapter 1. Irene has passed. Janie is having to clean out her mom's apartment. Before her mom's passing, Irene confessed a secret to Janie, one she had to keep to herself, and Janie had to keep it. Janie is angry at her mom for this. So, what do you think about... Fuck. I thought when I read this, there was a leading question. This might have just been notes to myself. Okay. I didn't write a specific question, but I can turn it into one. Okay, so those were just kind of my very beginning notes, trying to just keep track of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then shortly after that, her and her husband Isaac decide to move. They move when Isaac gets a new job, and they move into a house where the owners moved after only a year, and they sold it for real cheap. So why do you think someone would move out that quickly and sell it for so cheap? Like, why would you have to move? Because that part all seemed a little fishy to me.
Yeah.
Like how quickly everything happened. The new boss found you a house, and the owners happen to be moving out of it. It's a really awesome upgraded house from where you currently live, and you are getting this super good deal on it because you're in a new job. Like, you as the wife, if your husband is like presenting this to you, would you just quickly move along with it, or would you have more questions?
I mean, at the time, we're also in so much credit card debt, and we're all this debt, and I don't see my husband, and there's an opportunity for a fresh new start.
Right.
So I might have gone along with it because of the end result, living somewhere new. I get more time with him. like everything's going to be up and better. So I would have probably gone along with it, not asking too many questions.
Okay.
Was it definitely convenient and really fast? Hell yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Did me as the listener and the reader of this book think something's going on? Fuck yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But if I'm the wife in this situation, like, I'm going with the flow. Like, I want my life to be better.
Yeah, especially, I guess, if you're fresh off of, like, your mom dying and you're grieving, you might not have the energy to question too much.
Exactly.
Okay.
What did you think of Isaac's new job? Was it too convenient and too fast?
So, I didn't really think much of his new job being too convenient. I thought the whole move and the upgraded house and lifestyle was.
Yeah.
But him getting a new job and it being so much better than current, like, that's just like awesome. Finally, something worked out for him because there wasn't much background on him. So, as far as I know, he's been working for this for a long time. So, I didn't really have any real reason to suspect the new job and the quick pay grade. But like we just discussed previously, the whole house thing and all that, that was real fast and kind of suspect. Okay. All right, so this was right after they moved into their new house.
Okay.
Do you remember someone rang the doorbell? And
Patty? Ding dong ditch.
The ding dong ditch, yeah. So someone rang the doorbell. Isaac went to answer it. Then he went upstairs and was kind of up for a while, and he came down and played it cool or whatever. But I was like, I was like, who was at the door? Or who do you think was at the door? And what were all those texts about? What is Isaac hiding?
I mean, do you want me to answer someone that knows the ending or what I thought in the moment?
Like in the moment.
Because in the moment, I thought some kids playing Ding Dong Ditch.
Okay, so
like
you
I
weren't.
Just said.
So you weren't really suspicious about it in the moment.
No, because the kids do that all the time, and they were talking about kids like running around and being part of the neighborhood. So like, fuck it, I did Ding Dong Ditch to people growing up.
Yeah,
it's a very logical thing that could happen. What was the other part to that?
So in the same like little scene. After that happened, then she noticed a bunch of texts on his phone, and he grabbed it before she could like see any of them and played it off.
I was still trying to figure out the characters, to be honest.
Okay, so you didn't really have any suspicions?
Nope, did not.
Because I thought Isaac was hiding something.
Well, clearly, it comes more apparent, especially when they go to their first dinner together. But in that moment, I thought maybe like he's about to start a new job, like whatever. I'm getting to know this character.
Okay, cool.
That's all I got.
Moving on.
Let's see. Did you believe Isaac when he told Janie that a new town meant a new change and he'd be around more?
I did for like 5 minutes.
So at first he was like, I took the whole weekend off, Janie. We can spend time together.
Also, this is totally unrelated. It's back to the wine. But I've had a couple sips and I just had like an aftertaste. Kind of tastes like honey.
That is the Chardonnay we like.
There's like a honey...
a honey Chardonnay.
Note to it.
Okay,
anyways. He was going to have more time. Oh, yeah. I thought he wanted to have more time. Like, I think when he said it, he was genuine about it. He wasn't trying to just be a dick. But also when he would just like spontaneously be like, oh, I have the weekend, but she already had plans and he was kind of dickish about it. I didn't like that.
No, he was kind of jerky jerk for sure.
Yeah. And I guess you understand why later he was under a lot of stress and it was probably just coming out in weird,
bad communicative ways.
Yeah. But I wanted to believe him because I think he truly thought he would have more time for his family and he wanted more time for his family. And it just kept snowballing and
sure did.
Whatever. All right. What did you think about the other moms at Rowan's school?
I just kept thinking, like, this is Mean Girls grown up. Like, they're going to be the catty moms who have all the money. They think their shit don't stink, and their kids have all of the cool things growing up. I thought they were just going to be like those, like, catty bitches. Like, all those, like, Netflix shows I like to watch, like the Yummy Mummies. I thought they were going to just, like, be in such a tight-knit, fancy group that they don't let outsiders in.
Right.
Which, I mean, Janie had a good way to kind of get in by letting, what was it, Tanya know that her car was about to get a ticket?
Yeah.
Which was a cool entrance to the group. But they were never initially going to put her in there.
So I thought she was going to be in the group because she had, like, been really friendly with Edie, her neighbor.
But Edie barely acknowledged
I know,
her.
like, she snubbed her hardcore, which I thought was fucked up. Like, oh, so in private, they're one of those girls, you know, in private, you're good friends, but as soon as you're in front of your other friends, you have to pretend you don't even know someone.
They were just stuck up bitches. Mean girl club.
It seemed like the worst sort of people you would want to
But it makes sense if you're someone that's never had friends.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to gravitate towards that shit.
Your turn. I was getting ready to read a new question. I was like, oh wait, that was my question.
Let's discuss the girl who got kidnapped. What did you think of the abduction and what were your thoughts? Because I have a whole rant.
Susan.
Is that her name? Cool.
Yes. Actually, it was like my 2 questions later, but I have one relating. So let me just go ahead and throw it out there and we can discuss it. So my part of the kidnapping with Susan was, did you think the story about Susan being kidnapped had something to do with Irene's secret? And was she the one who pretended to need directions? When I meant she, I meant Irene. Like, was Irene the one pretending to need directions and lured Susan in? Okay, so here's what I thought about the actual abduction. So back to your point. I thought it was very suspicious. Maybe not from the get-go. Like, if a young girl comes up to you and says, hey, I'm trying to get somewhere, and can you tell me what street I need to turn on? Like, if I'm able to tell you just standing there, fine, I'll help you out. But when she was like, oh, I'm not from here, I can't remember the exact lore, but it was something along I don't have my phone on me, or like maybe it was probably the year, I don't remember what year it was. I probably don't have cell phones. But can you come back to the car and like tell my boyfriend or whoever how to get back? That's where it was super suspect. Like, if I'm gonna come back to the car because you don't remember the street you need to turn on, but your boyfriend does, okay, that's one thing. But then when you say, hey, okay, so what street do you need to get on? And the girl's like, oh, you need to like lean in and ask him yourself? Fuck no. Mm-hmm. He can either get out and ask me himself, or you can like lean in and be like, hey, what's the name of the street on the invitation? Tell me while I'm like standing far away from your car. And then I will help you and be like, oh, go this way, you'll find your way. You never lean in to a stranger's car. Obviously, you're about to be kidnapped. Like, duh.
It was so obvious.
Like, duh.
So she was like, come back to the car. I'm like, no. Mm-hmm. No. Cool. Interesting. And what was your part again?
So my point was, did you think that Susan's kidnapping had something to do with the secret that Janie's mom told her?
Sure didn't. I thought it had something to do with Isaac. I thought the whole book and all my rants of notes, Isaac had something to do with the girl kidnappings.
Okay, so I thought that...
So you figured the book out in the very beginning once again. It's true? You did?
I guess I did. And then I was like, but I thought Irene was the one pretending to need the secrets. Like, I thought she was the girl who was like, hey, you need to come back.
Oh.
I thought she was the one luring Susan. So I was wrong on that aspect.
Isn't Irene the sister?
Irene was Janie's mom, the one who raised her.
Oh, you just had it a little wrong.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't even realize I had it that right.
You did. Because I thought it was Isaac the whole time.
That's funny.
I thought he was being shady, and I definitely thought he was the not a mastermind, but something shady going on with it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even listening today. I didn't even realize that I had picked up on all of that, like,
sure
early
did.
on.
That's funny. Did Janie get too involved with the group too quickly, especially never having friends at all during her life?
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I mean, obviously she's in a new town, a new place. Her son's in a new school. She's trying to have this fresh start.
Yeah.
And she never had friends before, and she wants friends now. So I can imagine being that person and just kind of maybe jumping in too fast, too quick.
It was kind of like all in immediately.
But also, I kind of had a red flag with Tanya. I honestly thought if she was going to become besties with anyone, it would have been Edie. Because they met on the street in their neighborhood. They had like a friendly conversation. She had Aisha, her daughter, like was real friendly toward Rowan. And so I thought that was going to be like the immediate, like they're going to be BFFs, right? Tanya was the one who was like very visibly and outwardly like shunning her the first few days when she took Rowan to school. And so just because she saved her from that one parking ticket, the fact that Janie decided to trust her so quickly.
It was super quick. It
was too fast. Like, my whole time I was thinking that Tanya was like had something up her sleeve. Like, she was trying to get close to her just so she could bring her down.
Yeah.
And I guess in the end, she ended up being somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But I do think she was too trusting too fast, but maybe it is because she never had friends before.
She just doesn't know.
Her mom always told her to not trust people.
Which, yeah.
And then, she was really mad at her mom. So I think maybe she was finally just trying to be her own person and trying to not be like her mom and die alone. Yeah. So maybe she was a little naive and trusting Tanya so quickly, but I think she was just really trying to break like a habit and like do something different.
Put herself out there a little bit more.
Put herself out there, and she tried, and well, if you read the book, you know what happened. Okay. I guess this is sort of in the same realm of what we just talked about. So I said, why would Edie be so friendly in the neighborhood and then so snooty at the school?
I mean, girl club.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and find my next one since that one we kind of already
discussed.
Harped on. Oh, okay. So why was Isaac so worried about Janie talking about his job? What the hell does he do? So obviously this is before we knew anything. But when she was starting to make friends, he was very anti her, like even mentioning the title of his job, which is so weird. So did you have any, like what did you think was going on there?
I thought Isaac was helping to abduct girls and do naughty things.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought the entire book.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was all Isaac. And then Angel. Because the dead eyes.
Okay.
So I thought they were a duo going around, especially the looks they gave each other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he just didn't want people to really look into his shit. Because he was being a shady motherfucker.
Okay.
Which he still was.
He was still being shady, but just not for those reasons. Yeah. Okay.
So what kind of shit did you think Angel was getting into? And do you think she was the best choice to be a babysitter? So that's a two-parter.
Okay, so I don't know what the hell I thought Angel was getting into. I thought it had maybe something to do with Isaac, but I didn't know exactly what.
But those short skirts, meeting all those guys.
The older guys.
Skipping school.
Honestly, before, okay, so, I had my early prediction that the Susan being kidnapped has something to do with Irene.
Yeah.
But also, I did think that maybe Angel was the one luring people. But the people she was luring was always men, so I couldn't quite connect it.
Yeah.
But because she was like a young girl luring someone to a car, like there was a similar correlation, but just not quite. But I was like, okay, they've only been talking about Susan being kidnapped, but maybe they also kidnap men? I don't know. I thought she was definitely helping in the act of something.
Yeah.
Definitely suspicious.
Something of somethingness.
I didn't know. I didn't think she was necessarily doing anything sexual with the men. I mean, maybe, but I really just thought she was like a lure, like she was there to lure people, not necessarily men only, but I thought Susan for a little while, you know.
So, do you think she was the best choice to be a babysitter for Rowan?
Oh, because Janie had already seen her with the older men and knew she was lying, I would say absolutely not. But with Janie trying to give the benefit of the doubt, and she has Tanya as her new best friend, who's Angel's mom, and she's watched her interact with Rowan, I can see why she still chose her, like trying to stay in with the crowd.
Yeah.
But logically, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm. Go.
All right. Did this book remind you of any other that we've read? Not necessarily for the podcast, but just in general.
Not anything in particular.
No? It reminded me of Big Little Lies. You watched that show, didn't you?
Yeah, I read the book too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because here's my thoughts on it. So it was, I guess in Big Little Lies, it was just a single mom moving to a new town. So in here you had mom and dad. Mm-hmm. But it's a new family trying to fit into like a small town sort of situation, but like a more richer than you're used to. And the moms like had their clique, just like in Big Little Lies, and she had to try and like find her way in. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It wasn't like exactly like Big Little Lies, but that little aspect of it, like moving to the new town and then trying to fit into all the nooks and crannies of it, and try to just make your way like immediately. Like that kind of gave me like, and especially the kind of lower to middle class person trying to fit into the upper class thing. And then when Rowan first started going into the school, all the kids were like bullying him and not wanting to be his friend. Like it just all kind of,
I could see that.
That part like reminded me of that a lot.
Still like Big Little Lies more than this book.
Okay, I mean, obviously.
Rowan was being a total bully. What did you think of that?
I wondered why she didn't confront him, like, immediately. Because if I were that kid's mother and heard him say, "Why don't you kill yourself?" or "We wish you were dead," my first thought wouldn't have been about my job or that other child. Like, obviously, I don't want that other kid to feel like he should be dead. But my immediate response would be to go, like, grab my kid and be like, "You do not talk to people that way."
She's like, "No, I'm going to go wait and talk to Isaac when I get home about this situation."
Exactly.
Like no.
No, like, if it were like a parent-teacher conference where you weren't one of the teachers, then sure, both parents need to, like...
But correct it then and there. Don't wait.
But if you fucking witnessed it?
Yes. And no wonder why your baby that has troubles in the classroom has more troubles and you're just letting this happen again?
Yeah, you let your own kid do it? Like, that's fucked up.
It was.
I did not agree with that at all. Like, and obviously she wasn't that concerned about having that job anyways based on her behavior in the future. of this moment.
Well,
so, like,
because I don't have any questions about it, but, like, the little boy retaliated.
Yeah, and I don't know if she, I don't think, I can't remember the exact order it happened. I don't know.
She saw it happen.
And then he retaliated?
She had a phone call. She was trying to get a hold of Isaac to talk to him.
Okay.
And was late coming back in from the little break that they had.
Uh-huh.
And the little boy went through her purse.
Yeah, and he ripped up all her pictures and stuff. That's right. It was after she witnessed her own son's behavior.
And then she lashed out on the little boy.
Yes.
In a very unprofessional, what the fuck manner.
Yes, absolutely. So, I don't know. I think she should have dealt with her own son right then and there and not cared about what Isaac had to say about it because he's not there anyways. And if you ground your fucking son for a horrible thing he did, you can explain to your husband.
Yeah.
Why it happened, and I'm sure he'll have your back. Like, at least he should. But I think her priorities in that moment were fucked up.
The way she talked to a little boy that has needs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, that's going to make him better. That's going to make him stop.
And I know she was stressed out about a bunch of other shit in the moment, but still, like, she should have known that
I think she even called him, like, a little shit or something like that.
I think she did.
Like, you little shit.
Yeah, like, how dare you? Why would you do that?
But also, why would you leave your purse at the table unattended?
I don't.
That was really dumb on her part. Like, you don't have, like, a cubby you can go put it in or on top of a shelf or, I don't know, leave your purse in the car, bring your phone to work. I don't know. She
was the teacher's aide, but they should still have a spot for their, like, personal belongings, right?
You should get, like, a locker or a shelf or put it under the teacher's fucking desk. Like, don't leave why would you ever just leave your purse out there?
Yeah, on the children's table, even if it's someone without special needs.
That was just dumb. Like, that made no sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're right. Okay. All right, so did you ever fear that the moms might suddenly ask their kids to shun Rowan if Janie ever made a wrong move?
Yeah, definitely. I think they're the type of group that such mean girls that would do that to and have their kids do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it made sense in the end why Rowan was being a bully. It was because of Tanya's son?
Yeah, Dexter.
So, of course, I thought it was going to end up happening.
Yeah, like he was.
No, it was not Tanya's son. It was it was Tanya's because it was Edie's. That was Aisha.
Yeah.
Okay, but definitely, I thought the kids would definitely be used as a pawn. But I also feel like that was her way in. As soon as the mom's like, "Oh, she's cool," so they told their kids, to go play with Rowan at school, so he felt included. That's why his mood changed. That's why his mom mood changed and why all of the trickle of events that happened the way it did.
Yeah, I think that was another correlation I made with the Big Little Lies thing because all the moms were very well, like, they would tell their kids, don't talk to so-and-so's kid.
Yeah. And
there was just, like, that mom clique power even over their kids and who their kids interacted with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I think that's why I had that fear the whole time too. I was like, she's trusting them too much, and if she makes one wrong move, her son's gonna suffer for it.
And well, in the end, didn't he?
Yep.
So my last one's about the big reveal. I only have 3 left. So if you have anything before the bigger reveal.
Yeah, I have a lot more. Okay, well, I guess you kind of already answered that one. Okay. Do you think Isaac and Kyoko were really having an affair? And obviously we know the answer, but in the moment, did you think they were ever really having an affair? What else could have been going on if not? And do you think Janie overreacted?
I didn't think they were having an affair. Thought maybe with someone else, but not in the inner circle. That would have been stupid.
Uh-huh.
Don't know what they could have been talking about. They could have just been an inappropriate talk where they shouldn't have been so isolated in a room or got caught up, but I didn't think they were fucking each other. That just didn't make any sense in my head.
Yeah.
What was the third part of that?
Do you think Janie overreacted then?
I think she reacted the way she needed to react because he has not been home. Things have not changed. Life is not getting any better. They don't see each other. They don't communicate. They're not even having really relations.
Yeah.
So I think she reacted the only way she knew how because he literally wouldn't talk to her.
Yeah.
So I felt like maybe in a way she didn't react enough or didn't maybe place it on him cheating with Kyoko instead of getting mad about like all the other factors that are going on.
Yeah.
So, meh.
So maybe she overreacted about the situation, but it was a result of everything leading up to it.
Everything leading up, and I think she should have been mad at him beforehand.
Yeah.
Like, she was just falling into such a life of luxury to where she really believed that you don't need to have a connection with your husband anymore, which is absolute trash. If you're married to someone, you have to be able to, A, see each other, spend time together, and fuck. All right?
Yep.
Like, that's pretty fucking important.
Yeah.
And if that's not happening, then I could believe that he was cheating, maybe just not with Kyoko.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, wait. You said you only had like one more, so.
I have 3 more, but a big reveal's next.
Okay. All right, it's not really a question. I just had a possible theory moment. I said, what if Isaac and Angel are the people who kidnapped Susan?
Yep, thought that.
But then I put, but wouldn't Janie have been able to recognize her own husband in that parking lot, even if it were just the sight of him?
That's what I thought too. I was like, is that going to be like part of the reveal?
Yeah, I'm like just thinking like, okay, so we're both married. So like if we saw our husbands across a parking lot, even if it's just the sight of them,
yeah,
pretty sure I'd be able to know.
I would think so. I think I could even like, we can identify each other's husbands.
Yeah, but if it's far enough away, then maybe not. But if it's like just 100 yards or so, like I could probably see them. Like, I don't know, maybe 100 yards. That's a whole football field. But I feel like the way they described it in the parking lot, it wasn't that far away.
No, I definitely think she should have noticed, but...
I don't think... But it turned out it wasn't Isaac.
No, but...
So...
If it was, yes.
If it were, like, she should have been like, oh, that's my fucking husband. And what the fuck is he doing with Angel?
A 15-year-old.
Yeah. Okay.
The blasphemy.
All right. What was your opinion of Polly, the neighbor? Was she just a lonely old lady or something more sinister?
She was just little Miss Nosy Polly. She's like up in everyone's shit. She had nothing better to do than just to spy on everyone and try to see what they're up to.
Yeah. Would you have liked her as a neighbor? Would you have like confided in her and like tried to be a friend, or would you try to like be like, just leave me alone?
I would probably just listen to her but not share my shit.
Okay.
Be one of those relationships.
Yeah.
But you don't want to piss off any of your neighbors.
That's true.
I feel like you want to kind of be kind because kindness spreads.
So I feel like that's what Janie was doing at first.
But then she got...
she caught up with the other women and
they're like, fuck Polly. Polly is a nosy bitch.
Yeah, and then she was like so mean to Polly that one time. I can never personally speak to someone like that, regardless of how I feel about you. I don't think I could personally... Especially a neighbor and an older neighbor at that. Like, just be that rude.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it. So I think I'm with you where maybe I don't know if I can fully trust what's coming out of her mouth, but I would definitely listen. She's been there for a while. She probably knows what's up.
She's probably like the Karen of the street.
Yeah, like, so.
That knows everything that's going on.
I would listen, but not share a lot, like you said, not share my own shit.
Yeah.
But I would take it all in and still continue to be friends with my friends. And I would like have to like take all the information and like try to like make it all make sense, because obviously someone is over exaggerating in one way or the other.
Yeah. But regardless, she's a nosy little Polly.
She is a nosy little Polly. Okay. Don't you think Janie should have called the police when she saw the attack where Angel was involved?
Yes.
Especially once Tanya obviously wasn't going to do anything.
Yes. And I think as someone of the police, once I've given my statement hours after the fact, I would have questioned a little bit more.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been so all right, ma'am, tell us your story. Ma'am, why didn't you tell us, like, when it happened?
Yeah, so
Like, we could have saved this man's life. Like, you could have been part of the reason of why he perished.
Exactly. So you watched the whole thing transpire, and you didn't tell us what happened until hours later. I think, if anything, okay, I can understand wanting to give Tanya, like, hey, your daughter, I saw your daughter here, whether you want to believe me or not. I would go from there being like, okay, I did what I came to do, but then I would have been immediately on with the police. So it would have been probably longer still than you should have called the police.
Yeah.
But at least it probably would have been within like half an hour.
But it seemed like it was hours later after she already like decided, and the police were just like, man, like he died.
Because she confronted Tanya, and then she went to school. And
then had that big...
Yeah.
So she's just a hot mess at this point. She can't handle all her friendships.
Exactly. All right. What did you think was going on with Tanya and Angel? Like, there's something that Tanya obviously knows about. Is Tanya's or did you ever think Tanya's husband was involved in any way?
I had no idea what the fuck was going along with them two. Like, how would you willingly let your child miss school all the time and then let her go and hang out with older men and all of that, but you won't let her choose her own career in the future to be a hairdresser? Okay. Definitely. I guess I just didn't. How could I have guessed what went on?
Yeah.
I thought she was definitely I thought Angel was definitely messing around with other dudes
without Tanya knowing.
But to find out that Tanya knew that she was doing something, I don't know what she had to gain. I couldn't place that part of it.
I don't think I knew that Tanya knew exactly what her daughter was up to. I just knew she knew something.
Yeah, obviously.
Like I thought she knew her daughter was not the angel that her namesake is out to be. But she was so wanting to hold on to it. I thought she was more in denial than anything.
Yeah.
Like, she either knows exactly what's going on or she's in such denial. But I was more leaning towards she knows something. Maybe not the exact thing.
But of course she knew something, but how would we were going to guess the something?
Exactly. But I was like, I don't know. But her friend was obviously concerned about her daughter. And that weirdness in and of itself, the fact that you were just so dismissing the friend.
No, my angel is perfect. She's an angel.
If you have a 16-year-old daughter in the future and I see her doing something really crazy and I come and tell you, hey, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but I saw so-and-so do this. Would you not, would you be defensive, or would you be like, hey, this is my best friend telling me?
I would believe you, but that's a little different.
It is a little.
I didn't just become best friends with this person weeks ago.
That's true, but
this
I'm just
years of friendship.
I'm just trying to correlate it somehow. Wouldn't you believe your so-called best friend? I know we are best friends, but in this,
I feel still in that situation.
But I feel even still, even after just a month or two, if I've spent that much time with you and I've decided to trust you, and you're an adult, you have your own kid, I don't have any reason to think you just want to make shit up about my own kid. Yeah. That part was just so obviously something's up. All right, I think pretty much toward the end, too, so if you want to...
Okay, so my question is, the big Edie reveal.
Yep.
Let's discuss all of it and how everyone was under her.
Yeah. So, okay, I thought it really made so much sense that Edie was the one.
See, I thought it was going to be Tanya, but it makes sense that Tanya was... yeah.
No, okay, so I did... From most of the book and I know Tanya knows something.
Yeah.
I kind of was leaning that way.
Yeah.
But once they revealed it was Edie, so I'm not saying I predicted it correctly. I'm saying it made sense.
Yeah.
That it was Edie. Especially it explained in the beginning when they went for the walk of the neighborhood. And Janie and Edie met at the gate after Aisha saw Rowan. and they like met and talked. And they were friendly. We're like, oh, we're gonna go to school together. And then Edie came out and introduced herself to Janie and was so friendly. And Rowan was the one that was rude. And Janie was like, why were you so rude? These are our new neighbors. Like, we're supposed to be making friends. Like,
Rowan was rude or Isaac was rude?
Oh, I'm sorry. Isaac was rude. I
was like, the kid was rude?
No,
I don't remember.
Aisha and Rowan met. And
like, and Isaac was a dick.
Isaac was like, oh, hello. Like probably really standoffish. So to Janie, he was being a dick. And so when they walked off, she's like, why were you so rude? Like,
why do you gotta be so rude?
So once it was revealed that Edie
was the mastermind,
that big one of the early scenes like made so much sense.
Yeah.
Because he was like, oh, shit. Because he didn't honestly know that she lived on the same street that they just moved on.
Well, and now he's fucked.
Yeah, and I think that's probably when he realized how fucked he was.
And the way that, like, her husband, Alistair's company, was stealing money, like, pretty much blackmailing smaller businesses to send them a ransom amount of money to not release confidential information.
Yeah.
Which they didn't go into the detail of the
they didn't.
Confidential information. I wish I would have gotten, like, an example to know, like, what was the extent of you giving all this money up.
Right.
Could it have been, like, some naughty shit? Like,
or, like, tax evasion
or someone going on the servers and looking up child porn or some shit like that.
Your naughty shit just reminded me.
Yeah?
That's what Angel was doing. She was what did they call her? The honey bait or something like that. Honey trap.
Oh, and because she was underage, they would have revealed it?
Yeah, but Edie knew she could dress up and look older than her 15.
Yeah.
So she was the bait of their so-called clients. She was the bait trapping these mostly married men.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that wasn't explicit.
Yeah, but
maybe that was the part I really desired, was the more explicit part of the book. And maybe that's why my feelings towards it were just like, I wouldn't go back and reread it. I just wanted that, like, more oomph from it.
So that was Angel's whole part in this. Yeah. Not necessarily, she wasn't doing anything actual sexual. She was capturing them in compromising positions, trying to get into a car with a young underage girl. And the fact that Edie and her husband would have the pictures and the proof of it, that was Angel's part in this whole thing. Was luring the client.
Yeah, you're right.
And they said they even tried it with Isaac and he turned it down.
Yeah, because he recognized her immediately when the babysitting gig.
Oh, but she had already tried to trap him.
Yeah.
So when she tried to trap him, he had no idea who she was.
But the babysitting gig, it was like, wait, how do I know her?
That's why they reacted weirdly to each other. Yeah.
But maybe that's just the nail that, like, I wanted more oomph from this book. Like, they let a great backstory. They had, like, the murder element. But I wanted something more from it. It wasn't my favorite.
I liked it.
I thought most of it was storytelling. And then we got, like, little glimpses of murder. And in the end, we got this big reveal. And I just wish it was more.
I guess it wasn't a full-on murder mystery.
Yeah, maybe that's what I wanted. And I didn't, like, because I didn't read any of the descriptions.
Yeah, but maybe that's, I mean, you said you don't want to do that to any ones that I chose without you. But maybe you should. Because you're trying to go into it with, like, a full-on mindset of your own without having any idea what the book is about.
But they set it up to be a murder mystery, so that's what I expected to happen.
Did they?
It led up, we had the girl going in the car, the girl getting kidnapped. We had those little scenes of that, and then we flashed back to the present.
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to tie, like, it tied in.
Yes.
It went in together.
Yeah.
But I was just expecting more of those elements.
Yeah.
And I want to continue my journey because it's kind of interesting to feel what I like and what I don't. It's not that I didn't like the book. I'm not saying that. I just wish there was more of a oomph. Like, just the high drive of the murder more throughout it, I suppose.
So you wanted more of the backstory part as opposed to well, not the backstory, but what happened in the past. You would like more of that.
I would have liked, more of the sadisticness. I think that would have made, because the actual story was sometimes just like everyday life, and I feel like if maybe that was hyped up, it would have fulfilled that maybe need of just the more oomph to it.
Yeah.
And I think they could have, it could have been bumped up. It could have been extra played. It could have been brought in more, or given us, instead of number 9, they could have included maybe 6, 7, 8. Then we lead up to girl number 9.
Yeah.
Like maybe it could have just had just a little bit more of that.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted a little bit more.
Okay. That's fair. All right. It is my turn, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Or what did you think of Kayoko's confession to Janie?
It was deep. Did I expect that? Fuck no, did not. I also thought it was really cleverly placed, but it made sense.
Yeah.
Like the way that she was reacting, and especially towards Janie, and how she was pushing her away, and how her name changed, and the twins were giving up the real story in accident because they're kids.
Yeah.
It was conveniently placed, and I think that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. So for most of the book, I really just thought Kayoko was kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
And I thought, I can't help but to relate best friend situations as me and you. But I couldn't help but think like there was a third party trying to be best friends with you or me.
Or to cut them.
And the other of us is acting like Kayoko and just being a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to hang out with her? Oh, well, I hope you can do blah, blah, blah.
But it's so true.
Maybe not so snooty like on the...
You want to infiltrate my girl crew? No.
Good luck.
No. Can't see my face right now, but it's beautiful.
It is. I could just see one of us being that petty.
Taking our fingers, pushing up her nose, and be like, no, definitely not.
She's mine. Good luck, though.
Try again when I'm dead. But little did you know, we're dying at the same time.
Can we cheers to that? Because it's pretty beautiful.
You gotta take a deep sip. Look at that difference.
Sorry, but I've been drinking since like 3:30.
Sucks to suck. Drink up.
And I don't suck. It doesn't suck to suck if you don't suck.
I mean, we don't need to get into that. I'm sorry you don't inhale vigorously. I mean, I agree. You don't inhale vigorously. Like, you're pretty cool. So, whatever, And I don't. In high school.
Have I told you I love you today?
No.
I love you.
I love you too. In high school, it was cool to, know what definitions of words were and use those instead.
Yeah.
So, for this suck, we'd be like, you just inhale vigorously.
I like that.
Which is a hell of a lot better than the word suck.
It is. I like it.
My boss, actually, the other day, this week for work, because, I had to go in for a few days, she goes, yeah, that just inhales vigorously. Said it so seriously, and it was beautiful. Yes. I really appreciated it.
I like that. All right. I think I asked the last question, but I'm not sure. So why don't you just go on ahead?
What did you think of Janie's big secret? Were you shocked?
Well, fuck. Here's my next question.
Oh, no.
Get out of my damn head.
It's hard.
Did you ever expect Janie... Well, I'm going to go into it fully, but we can just discuss it. Did you ever expect Janie's big secret to be that her quote-unquote aunt and boyfriend, Samuel, were murderers, and that her Aunt Pam was actually her mom?
No.
If not, which I didn't either, so please don't feel bad. That was never a thing I could have guessed. If not, what did you think the secret was, or do you have any guesses?
I had no guesses. I really was just like, they played up this big secret so much, And, like, everyone else knew this fucking secret that I was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
This is complete bullshit at this point.
I feel like I was trying to figure out the secret for so long. Like,
That it was just too overplayed.
The secret, I couldn't nail it down what the secret was. I guess maybe in the beginning I thought that Irene was involved in the kidnapping of Susan.
Yeah.
And that maybe she was going to reveal that, which I guess she kind of did. But the fact that it wasn't Irene, it was her aunt, that her aunt and her boyfriend, Samuel, had a series of murders. The basement murders.
Successfully murdered 8 girls.
Susan was
number 9. That's why they
wasn't there a number 10?
No, when Susan was down there, she was like, okay, they called me number 9. When I die, hopefully here soon, they'll go ahead and just bring in a number 10.
I thought when they talked about number 9, my headphones did this weird thing.
Mine did too.
Okay, it wasn't just me. Yeah. I thought I was just having a drunk moment.
But they referred to her as number 9.
Okay, because I thought she was like number 8, and they were referring to someone else as a number 9.
So when they refer to her as girl number 9, it fucking smells. How are you still touching her? And he was like, "Oh, like I'm almost done with her. Don't worry, we'll go get number 10 soon."
Okay, I guess the way I took it, now that you're saying it, it sounds more right the way you're thinking. But I thought they already had a number 10, and they were like just still working on number 9. So you're right. The way you're saying it, like they were waiting for 9 just to be done.
It was just a good reveal, good secret. I liked the part I really liked was the jewelry came back into play.
Yeah.
And how all the jewelry that Janie got taken away growing up was actually victim jewelry.
Okay.
Yeah, so really, I just thought it was an interesting tie-in between
I just had
how the aunt/mother was Janie's mom and all the jewelry she gave her. It was pretty much just like miniature trophies of what she was doing, which I don't think Janie's like the mother that raised her understood. She just knew they were elaborate pieces that no child needed.
Right. I guess shortly before it was revealed that Janie was receiving jewelry that were trophies, I had a question. Maybe it was more to myself or whatever, but it was Susan one of Pam's victims? Was that the whole point of the flashbacks?
It was.
Which I think I'm with you. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go for it.
I know you mentioned earlier that you thought Isaac was like the main like leader of all of that shit before. So I think I'm with you where I didn't realize the flashbacks were like 20-year flashbacks.
Yeah.
Which I guess that was on purpose.
It was.
But I was like, shit, because I can see your point, like needing more from the murder aspect.
Even then, like at the beginning, it's described as a psychological
thriller,
but I didn't get that. It wasn't like what we would normally read, where it's like really kind of like fucking my mind up too.
Yeah,
I would think this is more like an elementary version of a psychological thriller murder mystery.
Okay, like
someone that hasn't been reading these type of books for years like we have, and especially the longevity that you've had with reading these genres. I just feel like this was a very baby entry level. Like if maybe we had, like, for example, my sister who doesn't like murder mysteries. She doesn't like watching scary movies. This would be a great entry book to get her there without getting her there.
I guess I can see your point. I guess I don't always need the actual gruesome, twisted details. Sometimes it can just be alluded to, and that's enough. But for me, I think the reason I still liked this book was, I guess it was more just a mystery. Maybe not necessarily a murder mystery, but
it was more mystery.
The whole figuring out what the fuck Isaac was up to, why he was being so shady and secretive, what were the moms in the neighborhood up to, what was Angel up to, who actually abducted Susan and what was going on with that. Like, it was not necessarily a gruesome, super detailed murder mystery, but it was definitely high on the mystery. And so for me, that kept me enough involved in trying to figure out all the mysteries going on that I still really enjoyed it.
Maybe that's what I've been craving recently, is I want like
you want
solid gruesome murder mystery. And I feel like we haven't had one of those in a long time. So
that's true.
We have like this kind of fit a lot with like, I don't know, the aspect of like the wrong family, because it's a lot of story reveal.
Which, I don't know, maybe, I mean, I did pick out all these books without you. And I guess part of me, when you're not liking the books, it makes me feel like I did a shitty job in picking out the books.
No, I just definitely noticed that just like right in a row recently, we've read a lot like this type of.
But I've really enjoyed them and you haven't.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm feeling kind of like, okay, maybe I shouldn't pick the books out on my own. Because maybe you wouldn't have been even interested by the synopsis where I was intrigued.
Sure. Fair enough.
It makes me feel, I don't know. I mean, no, it's not my fault that you don't like the book.
No.
But because I chose it and I'm choosing all of these books, that's where I think maybe I get a little defensive.
Fair enough.
Because I'm like, I feel like you're just hating all the choices I made.
No, I don't hate. Like, I can find qualities and I can still listen to it. It was enjoyable. I just wish it had the more.
I can get that, but I guess that's where I'm getting I'm not so defensive. I'm not mad at you for not liking the book.
Well, gosh, like, Megan, darn you for having an opinion.
No, like, it's not even that, but like, normally we're more on the same page.
Yeah.
But these books I've chosen on my own and you haven't liked them so far. Yeah. And I'm like feeling like, well, fuck, I did a bad job. No. That's where I was like, kind of like,
Well, I don't know. I don't think you did a bad job.
I know, I didn't write the book.
Gosh.
I know I didn't write the book, so I know that it's not my fault that you don't like the book, but I'm the one that chose it for our podcast, and it's making me feel, I guess, a little insecure
about your book choices.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, I want like an intensity book, you know?
And obviously, I don't know how intense it's going to be by the synopsis.
No. But like, I want to, like,
yeah, I get you.
I want to cringe.
I can understand that. I guess I'm just feeling a little insecure because, I'm the sole chooser of these several books. And so far, there hasn't been one that you've been like, oh, I fucking loved it. Or I've liked them.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's not in our norm, but that's okay. But it's still, because you won't even read the summary before you read it.
I want the magic of like figuring out what's happening. I think this is a cool experiment. I mean, if you want me to read this summer, I can read it before, but I think this is a really cool journey that I've never done. Okay, you don't have to, but so far it's failing in my aspect. Oh. in my confidence bubble, it's failing. So I'm starting off with the books like, okay, I'm ready. So you want me to read the synopsis regardless or not? And be like, no, I have to listen to it. You're right. You don't do it. I'm gonna continue my journey. I just feel like that's where my little insecurities are coming from, is that I'm the sole one who chose it and you're not liking them, and it's making me feel bad. And like, I put you through like misery. But like, think about what's coming up. We have You Book 3 coming up. We have the next like couple book, like, what's the next one? Like the Guide to Murder. Actually, A Girl's Guide to Murder we have coming up. I'm going to have to look it up because it's not on the chalkboard. I haven't updated that yet. But we're not done with this, so let's get back on track so we can finish. But regardless, like, I'm excited for some coming up. Okay. But that's the only reason I was a little defensive or, like, insecure, because, like, I just feel like you haven't really liked or been on board with the last few books. And I'm the one who chose them, and it's just making me feel like, well, fuck, I chose poorly. That's sorry. It's okay. We don't have to like everything exactly the same. Exactly. All right. I think I asked the last question. My last one is the ending. ... Okay, then I still have more for you.
All right, I asked the one about Susan. She was the point of the flashbacks. Okay. In the moment when Janie goes to pick up Rowan, right after Kyoko makes her confession that she's like been trying to get all this evidence, and like she fills Janie in on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then Janie's like, okay, I have to go to Edie's and act normal and get my son. Edie already knows that she knows somehow. I don't think they... Oh, Alistair was at the restaurant. Well, shit. I don't know how they know Edie knows everything.
Edie's the mastermind, that's why.
Whatever. They figured out somehow that Edie already knew. But then, like, Kyoko wanders in when Janie was, like, really laying on thick, like, super details that she shouldn't have known. And he's like, how do you know that? And then Kyoko wanders in and is like, I told her.
Yeah.
But then, like, nothing ever really happens to Kyoko for a long time.
It was a weird placement of a character. A character that had really nothing to give to that moment.
Like, other than admitting that she's the whistleblower, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, but I thought if a whistleblower walked into that moment, the bad guys would have, like, taken action immediately. They wouldn't have just been like, oh, you're in my living room? Cool. Let me continue my conversation to this person over here. Like, that was a weird...
It was a weird transition
thing. So that happened. So she showed up, and then Isaac had been revealed that he was there, and he's trying to, like, worm his way out of his...
Which, how the fuck was he there this whole time?
Yeah.
That goes into other things we don't have time for, but continue.
And then the cops show up, and I'm thinking...
So conveniently placed, and they know everything, and they're arresting everyone.
I thought Kyoko was wired, maybe.
No.
But then it turns out Polly called the cops. And my little note on that was, I figured she would end up playing some sort of significant role. Like, it just seemed sort of obvious.
But it was just one of those, like, it was such a, like, oh, yes, we're doing this, and I caught your husband. Mm-hmm. Knock, knock, knock. Police, you're arrested. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Paid bill. Peace out.
Okay, and then shouldn't Isaac have been arrested immediately as well?
Yes.
Like, if they really do everything?
He should have.
He should have just been arrested right away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, here's my, those are just kind of thoughts. Here's my actual question for you. Thoughts on what Isaac did and all the lies he told, and should he be forgiven?
Really fucked up. His lies were for the purpose of helping his family. But at the same time, like, motherfucker, you got your wife to sign paperwork to fuck her over.
Yeah.
Like, I probably wouldn't have been so forgiving because that's very deceitful.
Mm-hmm.
I think he deserves kind of getting locked up for a little bit to learn his lesson.
I agree.
Definitely don't think it's as severe as those higher up than him in this situation.
Right.
But I do think he doesn't need to just get a slap on the wrist, which he didn't get.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I agree with you. I don't think I have too much more to add to that, but I think for sure he was super deceitful, and I think Janie was right in saying she didn't know if she could forgive him, because it wasn't just him hacking or doing something. He involved her.
Exactly. And you don't do that to your significant other. If especially you're like, you know, your wife is taking care of your child all the time and you're working.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was the most fucked up part. Okay. And then your last question?
It was just about the ending, but we're already there, so.
So it was just discuss?
Yeah.
All right.
Open-ended.
Well, then the last two notes I have are perfect for your open-ended. I put, oh shit, Janie was getting her aunt's trophies as gifts. Fuck.
Yeah. That was, I think out of the entire book, that was the best reveal for me.
Yes.
And that was really fucked up, but I'm glad what she did next.
which leads right into my next sentence.
Perfect.
I love that Janie got to meet Susan and return her necklace.
Yes, and then package the other ones off to the other victims.
Yes.
Parents.
Or families or whoever.
And I thought that was a good closure on her part.
Yes, I really I liked that a lot.
That was a good ending to the book.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that.
Which leads me straight into my what would you do?
Sounds great. Go for it.
All right. Would you have waited months or would you have waited 4 months to go by? Not the number 4, just
like FOR.
4 months.
Okay.
To go by to look in the box of evidence proving your aunt/mom or whoever, someone in your family, was a murderer.
No, I would have gone through immediately.
Right?
Immediately.
If someone's on their deathbed and they admit something like that to me, and then like, oh, by the way, there's a box of evidence.
I'm going through it. I want to know.
Then and
there.
Like
difference between us and Janie.
She obviously was not a true crime murdering person.
Give us a box and we'll be like, fuck
yes, I'm going through it. This is exciting.
I just really hope there's not like a finger in there or something.
Oh yeah, I don't want anything like that, but like newspaper clips, pictures, the necklace trophies. Like that would have been like, that probably would have been super emotional and fucked up. But also like
powerful to go through.
Powerful and like, and we would have the same amazing chance to return those shit to their rightful owners. Like,
good job on her part for sure.
Yeah, but I definitely could not have just set it aside and be like, oh, I'm so mad at my mom. There's no way I can go through that box. I'd be like, nope. I've been mad that she waited so long to tell me.
Mom, you could have told me like years ago. And what?
Exactly.
I only have one. What would you do?
Okay.
And then, yeah. So Janie was given murderous trophies, aka jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
What is a piece of jewelry you've had in your younger years that meant so much to you? Like, if you were a girl being kidnapped, what was something that, like, something you loved?
Okay, so if I were kidnapped, like, what would they have, maybe the murderer would have taken as a trophy?
Yeah, just, like, something, like, that, like, you wore all the time that meant so much to you, all of that.
Younger as a kid.
Teenage.
Okay, teenager, I didn't really wear too much jewelry. I think I always had on some simple sort of like maybe cross-like necklace. So it's not even that it really meant like a whole lot to me, but it's all I wore. So like that obviously probably would have been something somebody stole or had at my true love Waite's ring, which probably would have been, back then it did mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
So that probably would have been a thing that they could have stolen and like taken away and, and whatever.
Do you want to hear mine?
Yeah.
So I have two. One of them is a soccer necklace. So when I made the varsity soccer team my freshman year of high school, my parents got me a necklace.
Okay.
And it was cool because it was a half soccer ball. So when it sat on your neck, it looked like a full soccer ball, but like it was only half. Like,
I'm trying to
like when it was just right here, it was just like a soccer ball head, but if it flipped over, it was hollow.
Okay.
So it wasn't like a chunky ball.
Oh.
It was like it laid flat on my neck.
Okay, so it wasn't like a crest, like a half moon. Like that's what I was thinking when
full
you said
ball,
half.
But like half sphere.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm with you now.
The sad point is I played an indoor soccer game my senior year, and it fell out of my bag and someone stole it.
Oh.
But that necklace meant so much to me.
Yeah.
My other one was a motorcycle ring. My mom started, like, her and my dad went to this motorcycle convention, and she got this beautiful ring, like, with a motorcycle on it, and it was too small for her hands. So I took it. Literally, I took it off her finger and put it on mine and started wearing it like it was mine.
And she let you?
She let me because it didn't really fit her, but it fit my hands.
Yeah.
And I loved it, and I wore it until it didn't fit my fingers anymore. And right now, it's such a tiny size, like maybe it would fit my pinky, but you know how our fingers were in high school, so tiny. Tiny, tiny high school fingers.
Your motorcycle ring reminds me of when I got married, my grandma on my mom's side, so Granny Anita, she, as my something old, gave me her engagement ring.
Aww.
And it's still in my jewelry box. I still have it, but I can't even wear it on my pinky ring.
It's so tiny.
That's how small she is. Like, she's not even 5 feet tall.
Oh,
like,
my goodness.
barely. And so, like, her hands are, like, so much smaller than mine. So, I don't know what to do with it other than just keep it in my jewelry box.
Speaking of rings, these summer months that's coming in, is your ring fitting snug right now?
Oh, yeah. My hands feel so swollen right now.
Mine do, too. Like some of the fingers that my rings are smooth.
Yeah.
It's like my wedding ring is so tight. And I'm like, ugh.
My ring finger is always so swollen. It's one of the reasons I don't sleep with it on at night. Because I feel like at night it gets even puffier.
It makes me feel like I have fat fingers.
Me too sometimes. But as long as I can still put it off and on, it's good.
That's good.
But no, you're not alone. I'm starting to feel puffy.
I even outside when I go take Reptar and I'll leave my hands down or do something. I'm like, I can't even take them off.
I feel like that's when I go walk for a long time or running, I take my ring off because my hands get
so swollen. Okay, cool. Well, that's not just me.
Yeah. All right, here's my last. What would you do?
Woohoo!
All right, what would you do if you found out your husband was doing all of that shady shit behind your back?
Question my entire life.
Like, okay. All right. Hacking bullshit. Like, okay, can you deal with it?
Like, bitch, you didn't tell me before. And what?
But if it's just like normal ass hacking bullshit, can you put up with it?
Yeah, normal.
Okay. Then you take it up a level. He's giving shady information to shady people. Okay, I don't like it, but...
Now we're being blackmailed?
But I guess you do you. I don't know. But then... he sneakily has you sign shit because you just trust him.
Trust is God. Like, I don't know if I could be with you anymore, regardless of how much I love my husband.
I agree. Which I think is where Janie was at it by the end of the book.
Yeah. But good for her finding herself in the end, too.
I don't think they... Okay, the way it was... Because I just listened to the last 30 minutes earlier today. The way it was described from my memory... She and Rowan moved back to their original hometown. Mm-hmm. He was really excited to go back to his school with his original friends, which I think was a good move. Mm-hmm. Her and Kayoko become best friends, which I actually kind of liked.
Yeah, enemies become frenemies.
Yeah, and
friends.
And Kayoko's explanation for being so cold was like she was really just trying to shield her. Yeah. So I liked that aspect of it. And they mentioned, Isaac, his sentence and stuff was pending. They didn't know. They didn't really go into detail.
But it sounded like he didn't make bail or he was somewhere else. He wasn't with her.
Yeah. They said, I think because it takes place in UK was weirding, but they called it, he had his own bed set.
Meaning maybe just an area where he was
like his own apartment or his own place. He was sleeping somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
But he still had a regular relationship with Rowan. He saw him on a normal basis.
Maybe just him and Janie were just not really together.
In the way Janie, I think one of the last things that was said was Janie was like, we're still talking. He and Rowan have a good relationship, and that's all I can say about that for now. So I guess they kind of left it with you know what?
Open-ended.
They're not definitely divorced, but they're not living together. She at least was being strong in that aspect and putting her foot down and hey, you can't just do all of this shit and put our family in this much danger. Yeah. And then me just go, okay, you said you're sorry, fine.
But interesting ending to the book, but I'm glad there was closure for the characters.
I am too. And I know I liked it more than you did, but...
Fair enough.
Okay, the last book we both hated was the water... Something water.
Yeah. The dystopian one.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Did you like this one more than that?
Oh, yeah. No, I think there's been a lot of books in the same kind of realm. Story, a little murder mystery.
Gotcha.
Not super psychological. It's just kind of like a baby murder mystery. And that's fine. It's just, I want something a little bit more oomphness just different. Maybe
to ease your expectations, I don't even remember for sure because I did have to pick these all in one day while I was working.
Yeah.
I do like the psychological thriller, so I don't know if maybe I went heavy on that, thinking it was more murder mystery.
Maybe.
So maybe if you go into it with that mindset, it might be more psychological thriller.
Sure.
Than murder mystery.
It just sounds like a lot of the same books that we've read a lot recently.
Maybe. But like I said, I did pick all 12 or how many in like a day.
Yeah.
I had a lot of things to read and try to get through and pick, and I did my best.
Yeah.
But maybe go in it with that expectation that they might not all be like gruesome.
And I do each time. I didn't start disliking this book until it got halfway through, and we were still learning about their friendship relationships, and I'm just like, meh, over it. I give each book a fair chance.
Yeah.
I have to get through it somehow.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so next week, hold on, we didn't figure out what we're doing next week.
Doing a bonus.
Oh, yeah, next week is a bonus. You're right.
I know.
Oh, and my niece gave us the idea for this next bonus episode. So it's gonna be called Red Flag, Deal Breaker, or Don't Care.
And we'll figure that out when we play it.
Yeah, we'll explain it to you later.
But until then, you can find us at Read Around the Rose at Instagram, readaroundtherose@gmail.com, Read Around the Rose on Facebook, and as always, make sure you go to our Read Around the Rose at anchor.fm and just,
leave us a voice message.
Do something. Cool.
Until then.
Bye.
Bye.
Yay!